It was kind of crazy is this whole Iran thing going on. I just saw like all over social media is that they're attacking Iran. Iran's sending bombs back and forth, back and forth. Part of me, I served in the military. I get a lot of things that maybe most people don't. So part of me is like, yeah, I can see why we're there. They do establish a lot of terrorist cells all over the world. They do fund a lot of terrorist organizations. They do, Iran does do a lot of that. But also, the other half of me is torn. Like, why is America always have to be the defense for the entire world? Why do we always have to be the mediator between the entire world? I think until we have homelessness taken care of here in the United States, until we have homeless veteran situation taken care of, disabled veterans taken care of, our schools taken care of, so that way there's no more school shootings. And until we have all that funding to take care of stuff here on our home front, we should not be worrying about other countries. Once we do have our own territory, taken care of, like our own home front, schools are secured, you got, an armed officer at every school or 2 armed officers at every school, because we could definitely afford it as a country. We just choose not to. I saw a statistic or a diagram of someone that they had made that based on all the money that we sent over to Ukraine a couple years ago, that money could have funded 2 officers per every school in the entire United States for their full salary, their full wages. And of course, I don't know how accurate that is, right? I didn't look into it. I just saw that. And I don't know where to start. Where do you start even like researching that information? But if that was true, holy smokes, why are we over in Iran right now? Why are we, let's take care of our home first. Then when our home's taken care of, we can go lend a helping hand to those who are most in need. I don't know. I just don't understand, why we always got to be deep into everyone else's business. I don't know. I see both sides of it, right? I guess, what do you guys think? Shoot, me a message in the comments section. What do you think on both sides? I made a video previously about Venezuela, and it makes you scratch your head, right? Is it an oil thing? Is it not? Same with Iran. Is it an oil thing? Is it not? We just never know, right? Because I have half my veteran buddies who are so pissed off that we went to a 20-year war with Iraq and Afghanistan, and now we're meddling with Iran. And a lot of them feel like it was for nothing. A lot of them feel like it's because of weapons of mass destruction, and we went and found none of those and got a bunch of U.S. troops killed. So I get their frustration, but also on my side of things, I can see both sides. I see it as, me personally, I served. I got the chance to serve. I got a chance to do some pretty cool shit as an 18, 19, 20, and 21-year-old that most people my age didn't get to do at that age or ever. And I got to see, of course, the crappy places of the world, but I just got to see different places of the world. I got to see different culture, different lifestyle, the good, bad, and the ugly, right? And for that, I'm thankful. I never once regretted my military service. Only thing I've ever regretted is I wish I had done things a little differently. Actually, completely, like a lot of differences for sure. But I do understand why a lot of my buddies and a lot of veterans feel like they wasted years over there, and why we wasted time and people were killed being overseas because of a weapons of mass destruction war that ended up not even being a thing. And now, look at all the disabled veterans, all the issues we have going on with veterans here on the state side. We're dealing with a lot of issues from their health and exposed to chemicals, and it's, I don't know. Back to my original topic, why are we meddling in Iran? Hopefully it's one of those things that's short, simple. We get there, we take care of business, we get out. That would be ideal, of course. But I saw this morning that Iran retaliated more this time. Like last time they retaliated, they sent missiles to like some U.S. base in Qatar, but it flew completely over the base and didn't even touch the base. And they were like, okay, we retaliated, we're good to go. Now it looks like they're dropping suicide drones, they're dropping bombs. They're like mean business. So, you know, I hope we go in and just swoop them all up, do what we got to do and get out of there. You know, best case scenario. I really hope we don't make this a 1 year, 2 year thing. You know, our economy will feel it. Our gas prices will feel it. Our military will feel it. And I think the economy is getting better. I don't think it's great, but I think it's gotten better. But you know, in historical events before and in the past where wars like this break out, your economy usually can go up or down, and sometimes it kind of goes down a little bit before it goes up. You know, that's just based on my observations. Of course, I'm not an economist or anything like that. And yeah, I don't know. Like, who's next? Are we gonna go after China next? I mean, like, I don't think so, or I think we're a lot smarter than that. But it's just, and kudos to China, like, they're pretty peaceful. I mean, they like, we don't want war, but we'll accommodate a war, you know? And so I don't foresee China ever like attacking anyone first, except for maybe the whole Taiwan incident that's going on, but who knows? I don't know enough about that. So kudos to China for being pretty peaceful, it seems like, right? From America's standpoint, from my standpoint. So, I don't know. I get we don't want terrorist attacks to happen in the United States again. You know, when 9/11 happened, I was a young kid, and it definitely shocked me and kind of scared me, you know, and I think I was probably 10 years old. And it made me think, man, that's crazy that this happened on our soil, on U.S. soil. Like, you heard about Pearl Harbor a long time ago, you know, but that was way before my time. And so I get, you know, why we're going to Iran and we're trying to stop that stuff, or trying to stop these terrorist cells. But I don't know, it worries me, you know. I got a young kid who's 15 and he's thinking about eventually joining the military, and I always encourage him, son, go to the Air Force, you know. I was in the Marine Corps. I tell him, go to the Air Force, don't go to the Army, don't go to the Marines, don't go to the Navy, do Coast Guard or Air Force. And so I think he's leaning towards that. But, you know, like, I have a lot of friends that are in the Army and Marine Corps right now, and seeing this, you know, I can only imagine how they feel as a parent. And I feel bad for my mom, because when I was overseas, I didn't tell my mom exactly what was going on or how our day was, or, you know, I talked to her every now and then when I could, and I would just kind of just give her a glimpse of like what I was up to. But I never said, oh, we got indirect fire shot at us every day for the last week. I never said anything like that. And it was kind of crazy, because there was a time I was on a satellite phone talking to my mom, and we started to get indirect fire, and my mom can hear like almost like the whistling noise that RPGs make, and she's like, what's that? I'm like, I gotta go, Mom, we're at training right now, I'll call you back later. And so I hung up and, you know, went and, you know, hunkered down for a second. I just looked back and like, man, I feel bad. Like, my mom was probably sickly worried, and now you got, you know, I got friends whose kids are overseas and in the military, and I think about them all the time. Like, man, that, I can only imagine as a parent what that feels like, you know. But anyway, circling back, I don't know. I guess we'll see what happens. I hope it's short and sweet. You know, I don't want to see casualties. It is frustrating that we're always meddling in other people's business. You know, in a perfect world, of course, I always feel like I have a resolution to everything, right? That's just me being a guy and me just being me. Like, in a perfect world, I think we take care of America first and just forget about everyone else around us, you know? I don't care about Canada or Mexico and Iran and Ukraine and China. Like, you know, we just become self-sufficient, take care of our own. Of course, like, we need to like have those trades, you know, going. Like, we need exports and imports. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying as far as like military style, military business, all that, you know, like, I spend that money on the home front. That's, you know, make sure our veterans and people and the elderly and homelessness and people, kids who aren't able to eat food, you know, in their household because their parents don't work and they're relying on the system. The kids go to school hungry. Like, we should be spending our money on that stuff. I don't think we should be spending our money bombing Iran. Unless it's absolutely like we have to, because if not, they're gonna like harm American citizens. I get that too. But I don't know. Mixed take on it. What do you guys think?